Hello, welcome to easyodds.com. My name is Ross Casey. I'm here to give you the tips for the final games in the group stages in groups E and F. We've got 4 games today, so let's get cracking straight into Portugal versus Hungary. Huge game in group F. Hungary have already qualified somewhat unbelievably. They managed to beat Austria 2-0 in a very good victory and then scrape a late draw against Iceland, which was pretty much well deserved. And the bookies make Portugal favourites to win this game, though, even though Portugal failed to win a single game in the tournament. They drew 1-1 with Iceland and then drew 0-0 with Austria. However, they have had so many chances. They've created 32 chances on goal, which is unbelievable that they've only managed to score 1 goal, but they just haven't been able to kill teams off. But they certainly have been creating plenty of chances, whereas Hungary could well be a value bet here. They've actually only lost 2 matches in their last 14 games, so they could well be the value bet at a big price here, 11-1 on a Hungary win. However, they are likely to make a few changes as they have already qualified. But another good reason there to use easyodds.com, because the best price is 11-1 and the worst price is 8-1. That's a huge difference on the same selection. But my recommended bet here is going to be in the first goal scorer market. I think Cristiano Ronaldo will finally get off the mark. He's been unbelievably unlucky. Hilariously, he's had 20 shots in this tournament and he's failed to score a single goal, including missing a penalty in the last game against Austria. However, he'll be pretty much desperate to make up for those missed opportunities, and if Portugal do win this game, then they of course do top the group, so there's huge incentive for the team as well as Ronaldo to get on the score sheets. And with 20 shots on goal already this tournament, you know that he's going to have plenty more shots in this game. So 13-5 there on a Cristiano Ronaldo opening goal looks a decent price. Moving on next to the second match in Group F, Austria versus Iceland. This is a big game for both of these teams, as they both have an opportunity to finish either second or third in Group F. And the bookies have made Austria favourites at 23-10. I think that's pretty fair. Iceland have actually remained unbeaten so far in the tournament with 2 draws. However, Austria do have a bit more quality to their side, and even with a poor start to the tournament, they have a real good chance here of getting through to the last 16 with a win in this game. They've only got a single point to their name after their surprise 2-0 loss to Hungary and a 0-0 draw against Portugal. Their performances have been lacklustre for sure, but with star man David Alaba particularly disappointing, I'm expecting big things from him today in their game. Iceland, on the other hand, have back-to-back draws, 1-1 with Portugal and Hungary respectively. They have been hard-working, if not spectacular, and that is perhaps the reason that Austria still fancied as favourites here. You can get a best price 3-1 that Iceland beat Austria, which isn't a bad price at all, but they're outsiders compared to Austria at 23-10. For my Austria versus Iceland tips, though, I'm going to be backing both teams to score. Iceland have now scored in both of their matches thus far, and even though they've only had 8 shots in total, they've managed to score in both of their games so far. And they've now scored in their last 11 games, so they're a team that do constantly get on the score sheet, and they've only kept 2 clean sheets in 12 matches, so they're likely to let in a goal as well. So that's prime both teams to score form there for Iceland. Plus, Austria need to win the game to have any chance of going through to the final 16, so they will be pushing forward until they get that goal. And with Iceland seemingly unable to keep clean sheets, I just really fancy them to net as well. And they've now gone three games without a goal, Austria, but I think that in this game that they will finally net in Euro 2016, and both teams to score is available at 6-5, which I think is a good price there in the both teams to score market. So those are my tips for Group F. I've got Austria, Iceland, both teams to score at 6-5, and I've got Cristiano Ronaldo to score first at 13-5. Moving across now to Group E in the evening games, I'm going to start with Belgium versus Sweden. Really looking forward to this game. I backed Belgium to win the whole tournament pre-tournament at best price of 14-1. That didn't look great after a 2-0 loss to Italy. However, they did bounce back with a 3-0 win over Ireland, which was a really good performance. Bookies have made them favourites to win this game against Sweden, 10-11 best price, so just a shy short of even money, which looks pretty decent price actually. And Belgium actually didn't perform as badly as some said against Italy. in my opinion. They have more of the ball, they have more shots on goal, and if it wasn't for some wasteful finishing, they could have easily at least drawn that game. They were my tip to win the whole tournament, as I've said at the top. Best price 14-1. That's dropped to around about 13-1 best price currently. And whilst there's a 3-0 win over Ireland is hardly a sign of championship form, it was more than pleasing to see them come back to a truer reflection of their ability. Whilst Ireland sat back in the first half against Belgium, I thought Belgium actually struggled to hurt them, because Belgium, in that kind of way that when you're facing men with 10 men behind the ball, they're pretty slow in possession, and that can cause them problems. See their 1-1 draw with Finland, their 1-0 loss to Wales, and 2-0 loss to Italy for proof of that. And it was surprised me a little bit when Ireland came at them in the second half, and that was their downfall actually in the second half. As soon as they went forward, it left space in behind for the likes of Hazard, De Bruyne and Lukaku to hurt them, and that was what happened, and they let in 3 goals in the second half. And fortunately for this tip that I'm going to give here of Belgium to win the game at 10-11, I think that's going to be exactly what will happen to Sweden, because Sweden have to win this game to have any chance of qualifying into the last 16. So they're going to have to push forward, and that would play into Belgium's hands really nicely. So I think 10-11 on Belgium to win there is a really nice price. So that's my tip there for that match. And finally, let's move across to Italy versus Ireland. Italy, of course, have already qualified, 6 points on the board, despite being very, very dull. I always say this about Italy, that they're very poor to watch, but they get the job done. They haven't let in a goal, and that's with good reason, because they've got a back three of Barzagli, Bonucci and Chiellini, who all play for each other at Juventus. Very, very good defensively, and they make sure that they keep a clean sheet and then try and nick a goal and win the game, which inevitably they've done in both of their games. Their best price here at 27-19 to beat Ireland, which I think is a really, really good price actually. I wouldn't put you off that, even if they do make changes coming into this game. Ireland, on the other hand, started their campaign with a hard-fought 1-1 draw against Sweden, and then followed that up with a pretty poor second half, where I mentioned in the previous match where they pushed forward in the second half, which was a huge mistake in my opinion, and they're going to have to do that exactly again against Italy, because they have to win this game to have any chance of going through. So my tip here is going to be both teams to score. It's a bit of a punt, because of course Italy are defensively brilliant, but I do think that they could make some changes here, as they've got qualification already wrapped up, so they could make some changes which will help our bet here. But Ireland are going to have to go gung-ho. I hope to see them play a slightly more attacking side than they did against Belgium and Sweden, where they were quite happy to give up possession of the ball. And that will open up Italy for the counter-attack, which will help our bet as well. So I'm fully expecting Italy and Ireland to actually get a goal in this game, and I think 5-4 on backing both teams to score in that match is the bet. So those are my 4 tips for today. Moving into the final group games, I'm going for both teams to score in the Italy-Ireland game, Belgium to win. I'm going for Cristiano Ronaldo to score first goal, and finally I'm going for both teams to score in Austria versus Iceland. All the best with your tips and your bets for the final games in the group stages. I've been Ross Casey. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for our daily YouTube clips moving into the out of the group stages and into the knockout games this weekend, as well as tips this week from the returning Paul Jacobs. So thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe by pressing the water link at the bottom of the video. I've been Ross Casey. Thanks very much for watching.